Admiral Kextar stood on the command deck of the Imperial flagship Dominion's Edge, his 6 eyes fixed on the tactical display, showing the border of what humans audaciously called Terran space. The designation itself was an insult to the Zeltharian Empire, a collection of primitive worlds claiming sovereignty over 12 star systems, including their pathetic homeworld that barely qualified as a Class M planet. Admiral, reported his intelligence officer, Commander Yixval, "We've received another transmission from the human colony on Kepler 442b. Same message as the others." "Play it," Kextar growled, his mandibles clicking in annoyance. The holographic display flickered to life, showing a human female in military uniform, standing before what appeared to be a hastily constructed command center. Behind her, Kextar could see the primitive infrastructure of a frontier colony metal prefabs, basic atmospheric processors, and laughably inadequate defensive installations. "This is Colonel Sarah Chen of the Terran Colonial Defense Force," the human said, with surprising composure. "You're approaching the sovereign territory of the Terran Republic. This is your final warning. Turn back now, or face the consequences of violating our space." Kextar's thorax rumbled with what passed for laughter among his species. The Zeltharian Empire commanded over 3,000 star systems, possessed weapons capable of cracking planets, and maintained the largest fleet in known space. These humans, who had only achieved interstellar flight 2 centuries ago, dared to issue ultimatums to the Empire. "Final warning," he repeated mockingly to his bridge crew, "from a species that fights with chemical propellants and nuclear fusion." What the Admiral didn't know was that Colonel Chen was standing not in a primitive command center, but in the most advanced military facility humanity had ever constructed. The prefabs visible behind her were actually hardened bunkers, housing weapons systems that violated several laws of physics the Empire still considered immutable. The atmospheric processors were massive sensor arrays, capable of detecting Imperial ships from 3 star systems away. Lieutenant Marcus Webb monitored the approach of the Imperial fleet from Deep Space Monitoring Station Cerberus, a facility that officially didn't exist according to all public records. Built into an asteroid in the Oort cloud of the Sol system, Cerberus was humanity's early warning system, and something far more dangerous. "Colonel," he reported over encrypted channels, "Imperial fleet has crossed the outer marker. Configuration suggests a standard intimidation formation, 12 dreadnoughts, 48 cruisers, and support vessels. They're broadcasting on all frequencies about the Empire's benevolent protection and demanding immediate surrender." Chen nodded grimly. The script was always the same. The Zeltharian Empire would arrive with overwhelming force, demand submission, and then strip mine any useful resources while relocating the population to serve as cheap labor on Empire worlds. They had followed this pattern across half the galaxy for the past millennium, but they had never encountered humanity before. Dr. Elena Vasquez worked frantically in the research facility buried 3 kilometers beneath Luna's surface. Around her, the fruits of humanity's greatest secret program hummed with barely contained energy. Project Prometheus had been developing for the past 50 years, ever since humanity's first contact with the Empire had revealed the true nature of galactic politics. While the Empire assumed humans were struggling with basic interstellar colonization, humanity had been reverse engineering captured alien technology, studying enemy tactics, and preparing for this inevitable confrontation. The Empire's own arrogance had been their greatest gift. They never bothered to properly scout human capabilities, assuming any species this young would be easily conquered. Dr. Vasquez called her assistant, Dr. Park. "The quantum resonance chambers are at full capacity. All 73 installations are reporting ready status." Vasquez allowed herself a tight smile. 73 hidden facilities across 12 star systems, each housing technology that the Empire's scientists would declare impossible. Humanity had learned much from studying captured Empire vessels over the decades, including the fundamental weakness of their quantum tunnel drive systems. Back on Kepler 442b, Colonel Chen watched the Imperial fleet assume standard attack formation just outside what they considered the effective range of human weapons. The ships were beautiful in their way, massive crystalline structures that caught starlight and reflected it in prismatic displays of power. Each dreadnought was larger than most human space stations. "Colonel," reported her communications officer, "we're receiving surrender demands on all frequencies. Standard Empire package, immediate cessation of resistance, preparation for resource evaluation, and population relocation procedures." "Any response to our warnings?" Chen asked, though she already knew the answer. "Negative, ma'am. They're treating our transmissions as propaganda broadcasts from a conquered population." Chen activated her command interface. "All stations, this is Kepler Command. The Empire has ignored our final warning and assumed attack positions. Authorization Prometheus 77 Alpha is now in effect." Across 12 star systems, hidden installations that the Empire had never detected began powering up systems that shouldn't have existed. Quantum resonance generators designed to exploit the Empire's own FTL technology. Gravity well manipulators that could trap entire fleets in normal space. Energy weapons based on principles the Empire's physicists had dismissed as theoretical impossibilities. Admiral Kekstar was reviewing the attack plan when his tactical officer suddenly straightened with alarm. "Admiral, we're detecting massive energy buildups throughout the system. Sources unknown. Our sensors can't get locks on the generators." "Impossible," Kekstar snapped. "Our intelligence reports show minimal human industrial capacity. Run full diagnostics on the sensor array." "Sir, diagnostics complete. Sensors are functioning normally. The energy signatures are real, and they're unlike anything in our databases." Before Kekstar could respond, space around his fleet began to distort. The familiar tunnel drives that allowed faster-than-light travel suddenly destabilized, trapping the entire Imperial fleet in normal space. Gravity wells appeared from nowhere, preventing any ship from breaking free of the system's gravitational influence. "Report?" Kekstar roared, his calm composure finally cracking. "Sir, our quantum drives are completely offline. Some kind of resonance field is disrupting the tunnel matrix. We're trapped." On Luna, Dr. Vasquez monitored the successful activation of humanity's greatest secret. "Quantum isolation field is stable across all targeted areas," she reported to Terran Command. "The Imperial fleet cannot jump to FTL or communicate with their home territories. Phase 1 complete." Colonel Chen's image appeared again on the Imperial flagship screens, but now her backdrop showed not a primitive colony, but a sophisticated command center with holographic displays showing the positions of every ship in the Imperial fleet. "Admiral Kekstar of the Zeltharian Empire," she said, her voice carrying across space with crystal clarity. "You were warned. You chose to ignore that warning. You are now experiencing the consequences." The Admiral stared at the human female with growing horror. "How do you know my name? How are you broadcasting through our shields?" "Your empire has spent centuries conquering civilizations you considered primitive," Chen continued. "You never bothered to properly study any of them. That was your mistake. Humanity has been studying you for 50 years. Around the trapped Imperial fleet, space began to shimmer as humanity's hidden installations revealed themselves. Weapons platforms that had been invisible to Empire sensors materialized like phantoms. Defense stations the size of small moons uncloaked at strategic positions throughout the system. "This is your final opportunity," Chen said, her image now accompanied by tactical displays showing the overwhelming firepower now aimed at the Imperial fleet. "Withdraw from Terran space immediately, or discover why humanity has survived every extinction-level event our planet has ever faced. Admiral Kextar looked at his tactical displays and felt something he had never experienced in 3 centuries of Imperial service: genuine fear. The humans hadn't just prepared defenses, they had turned the Empire's own technology against them, trapping the most powerful fleet in known space, like insects in amber. The age of easy Imperial conquest was over. Humanity's final warning had become the Empire's first lesson in the true meaning of Terran determination.